Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the stadium here at the Chili tournament, Wild Tournament. I'm your host, Zelda. With me, I got Paradox. I'm just doing the fusion dance, Paradox. I'm not pretending to not know the difference between
One
left
day
and
you'll
right.
get it right, Zelda. One day you'll
Yeah,
get it
one day.
right. How have you been this weekend? I know you've been solving some puzzles lately, haven't
I've
you?
been solving a lot of puzzles and having a lot of fun. And it's good to actually be back in Wild again for once. There's a lot of cards that I have missed from Standard that we now have availability to be played here in this tournament, which is going to be super interesting to see. We have to mention that this is closed deck list Conquest best of 5 without the ban. So they have 3 decks and they just bring it. And there's Vargoth and Open Away gets our banned. So besides that, all cards in HearthStone are open. You can do whatever you want. And we see some spicy
Just no
decks.
quest mage, thankfully.
Yeah, no quest mage. But we see some spicy decks there and a lot of cards we haven't seen in a long while from these two players we have here now. We have
As I say,
but yeah.
absolutely, yeah. We even have a stick of butter on screen because Butterz regrettably did not provide us with a profile picture, but I'm sure he won't mind giving us, say, a good likeness like this. But yes, neither of us know that much about Wild because regrettably Blizzard don't really provide very many Wild tournaments to really cover. They used to do the Wild Open once a year, but they haven't done that in 2020, so we're going into this mostly as blind as
Well,
the players
2020 is
are.
wild enough as it is. And we don't need anything. But this is kind of fun though. There's a lot of stuff in these decks that we know from before. Like let's say first on Butterz lists, which is like a Highlander Warlock, has what we knew like Kazakis, Reno, and the new Highlander cards. It doesn't run Alex actually, but it runs Zephyrs, and it also run Archwitch Willow that just got a buff or nerf or whatever how you look at it. It's cheaper now, which is an interesting inclusion in like this high demon Highlander Warlock. And then we have Rasa Priest, good old Highlander Priest with Rasa and Anduin, which was one of my favorite decks when it was in the meta, and is something a lot of pro players are missing.
Well, not me. I could never stand Rasa Priest, and I am very happy that I do not have to deal with it ever again. You know me though that I am a control priest player at
Yeah.
heart. I love dragging the game out, and Rasa Priest, it just never sat well with me. Though I
Yeah,
did
and last
hear
but not
Top
least,
10
yeah.
Legend one time with a Rasa Priest deck, or like a Highlander Priest deck that played Shadow Form. So I was pretty happy
Oh.
about that one.
But last
But
but not
yeah,
least, though, we see from Butterz here, we see a warrior list that we have seen the newer version basically in standard a lot, which is a bomb warrior. This is like the old school bomb warrior with LX, Clockwork Goblins, a couple of snip snaps in, or one snip snap in there, both the booms, and it's just a lovely fiesta of bombs.
yeah, it seems like Butters's plan. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Butters's plan is mostly just to beat up aggro, right? Like we've got Bomb Warrior that's playing all of the defensive tools. We've got Warpath, Eternium Rover, Brawl, Ziliax, all of that good stuff. We've got Raza Priest, which is pretty good against aggro. There's running cards like Spirit Lash. And we've got the Highlander Warlock, which, as you said earlier, is playing that Archwitch Willow. And in standard, there's not actually that many demons you can use with Archwitch Willow. There's the enhanced Dreadlord, but that's about it. In Wild, we actually have quite a few unique demons that we have seen a bit of in Battlegrounds. We've got Mal'Ganis, we've got Voidlord, we've got, I believe that's actually all the demons that are being played in this deck. They've got Voidcaller, I guess, but you don't really want to get that from Archwitch Willow. But yeah, like Mal'Ganis, Voidlord, and Enhanced Dreadlord are all pretty good against aggro.
Pretty good indeed. And with Blood River Gul'dan as well, as a card we remember, just resurrecting all those demons back up again. We have like a big,
And
large
it's
island.
off, don't forget, you're surfing this off in here too, so
Yeah.
you might be seeing an army of Voidlords, and good luck for any
Carter
aggro deck trying to get
defenders and
through
yeah,
that.
everything like that. It's a fun thing to see back in the deck. On the other hand, though, we have lasers with Highlander Hunter, which is like Highlander decks is, and I talked about them. The more cards that is in a set, like the later they're in is in an expansion or a year, the Highlander decks are better because they have more cards to choose between. In Wild, they have so many cards to choose, and it's basically hard to find like the perfect 30. And we see it here though with some new cards, some old cards, or a lot of old
A
cards.
lot of old cards. Yeah, this seems very similar to the old build of Secret Hunter from like 2 years ago now. Like we've got the Less Emerald Spellstone, we've got Subject 9, we have Cloaked Huntress. That's a really old one from Karazhan. 3 mana 3/4 that makes all of your secrets cost 0 mana. And of course, with that, since it's a high in the deck, you also get to play a ton of unique secrets like Wandering Monster, Rat Trap, Pressure Plate, Freezing, and Explosive Trap, and Cat Trick.
Like
That's a
all the
lot of secrets to choose from.
yeah, and we see Deathstalker Rexar being back in the mix, and it's going to be a fun show to see here, and we will
Yeah, it looks
see
like we're starting off with it as well. Look at this.
yeah, Highlander
And
Hunter versus Highlander Warlock, and
and
boy oh
Laser's
boy, I
got to a
missed
good
seeing some of
start
this.
because he has Zephyrs, which, as you know from Standard, is a pretty good card. It's obviously going to be quite a bit better in Wild. We see here that Butterz is opening up with a Void Lord and the Mal'Ganis. So you might be seeing a
Ooh.
turn 4 Mal'Ganis this game, and that is pretty scary.
Well, it is a death rattle, so it needs to die. So if Butters just now if Butters just doesn't manage to kill his Void Caller off, that Mal'Ganis might never come out.
Well, I mean, it's against Highlander Hunter, right? The chances of
Oh.
Butterz being able to clear this Void Cooler is pretty high.
Also, Bran being in both of these players' decks is it's such a lovely, lovely thing to see because I've seen a lot of Bran Bronze Bear lately, but not in Standard, not in like normal constructed Hearthstone. It's all been in Battlegrounds, and it's lovely to see him being back.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for Bran in both of these decks. In the Highlander Hunter, there's cards like Neophyte, where opponent spells can cost 2 more mana. We've got Rexar for 4 damage AoE, Lothar for 10 additional cost on spells, etc., etc.
Yeah, or not at least like Zephyrs. You have Dinotamer Bran with Bran, so you get the Bran, which makes the Bran go Bran, and you got 2 King Crush.
Yeah,
That's
and then you deliver a brand new rushing for 16 damage. But
yeah,
yeah,
and most likely a brand new game will come out after that.
anyway,
Butters
here
there
we have
though, drawing
Defense
all the
Demon.
demons. Look at these demons here. Void Caller is going to have a fiesta of like a plethora of choices.
Yeah, regrettably though, since Butterz has drawn all of his demons, it does mean that Archwitch Willow is now not going to be that useful. Since now it's not going to be able to pull a demon from the deck as well.
That's true, only from hand, not from the deck.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see Zephyrs the Great coming down here. Oh no, maybe not. Let's see.
It's a big spring paw.
Springpaw. Oh! Laser's going to go for Earthshock here to prevent the big demon from coming down. Alright.
Oh,
But
he didn't get
he
it.
was not offered Earthshock, and that is because VLasers regrettably did not trade the 3/3 into Zephyrs first. And so, yeah, that's all she wrote.
Yep, that means that you will have a big demon coming up next turn from this because of that little blunder, I guess. There was that option to find silence as well, but that's very unlikely as well. So I think it's basically only trying to get that one. But there's still a secret up though.
Yeah, which could well be Freeze. Actually, it
Isn't. It's Catrick, but Butters doesn't know that.
true. And in closed deck list, you don't know whether or not there is Freezing Trap in the list at all. We know that there is, but does Butterz know that? That is the question here. Because if this is Freezing Trap, this might be a disaster.
Yep.
Ooh, is he gonna go for Leroy? Okay.
Just to play around Freeze Trap?
Maybe.
ever
I mean,
correct?
Butterz is Reno in hand, right? He's not worried about dying anytime soon.
Oh no, of course not. He's standing tall, standing safe.
Yeah, now obviously Butterz knows it's not Freezing Trap, so he's gonna cross that one off the list. He also knows it's not gonna be like Snake Trap, which could be in the list. So you can cross that one off as well. So this player's
Yeah.
probably thinking of like Cat Trick or Rat Trap at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah. Which are the most used ones. And here comes another secret though, meaning, well, what are you going to play around? Like, are you going to play around everything? Can't really do that. And VLasers is just gonna ham it in, but Butterz for his sakes, like while sitting there with Reno Jackson's like, well, I got time.
And Forreston? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Butterz is fine here. I imagine he's going to take the trade with Void Caller now. So he doesn't care. He's not dead next turn, and if VLasers puts Butterz low, he can just use Reno and just heal him back to full anyway.
There is a question of using Mortal Coil though. If you're afraid of freezing trap. Like the second trap got played, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you train to flame it first and then decide.
Well, then you don't get your big demon if it's freezing. Do you care? No, but...
No.
But then you don't get the big demon.
But do you
What
need
about
the
the
big
big
demon?
demon?
That's the question.
Yeah, which one? It's like 3 big demons here.
I mean, the best one I'd say is Void Lord, because that means it's way more likely for Emperor to stick. And if Emperor gets 2 ticks off, that's just game over.
True.
So many possibilities.
Butterz here. Is he not going for the trade?
But he's got so many cards in hand, he's just trying to figure out which one to go for. Let's say he's going to opt for the card to... Is he going to take trade? He's not going to. Okay.
Okay, he probably wants to do like Mortal Coil Emperor maybe next turn. Just to be sure. To not get overwhelmed by any kind of... Yeah, like a freezing trap there would be really bad for him.
So Sea Diving Griffin coming down here, going to fish Ziliax out of the deck. Ziliax, of course, is an incredible card against aggro, but won't be too useful against Highlander Warlock.
Yeah, let's just continuing here to put on pressure.
In VLasers deck.
Yeah, it's just used as a 3/2 with divine shield and lifesteal and rush and taunt, and it is a good card
on all the keywords.
Yeah.
All right.
Still play. VLasers playing this like it has secret trap up though. I like it. Ooh, Dark Skies.
I mean, you know, Dark Skies here. I don't know. The longer you play around freezing trap, the worse it's going to be for you, I feel.
That's true.
I'd rather just trade the Void Caller in now. Or maybe just like coil first to see if it's pressure plate.
Oh, coil the opponent's minion.
Yeah, coil the 1/1. Yeah. So yeah, Butterz is going to coil Draws Archwitch Willow, which, like I said, is not going to be terribly useful, but this does give Butterz the Dark Sky to clear the board, if he wants it.
Yeah, he sees that. If you paid attention, that was the second secret. The first secret I got played. He still hasn't checked for the first one. That can be anything. He's playing very passively.
Was the first secret. He hasn't checked for the second. Yeah, that's what you mean. But yeah, Butterz is just going to go for Dark Skies, clear the board. Let's see if Big Demon out. Mal'Ganis. And Mal'Ganis, of course, means that your hero will be immune while Mal'Ganis remains on the board. So if VLasers wants to win this game, Mal'Ganis has got to go. He's got to go soon.
Yeah, the problem with Mal'Ganis, though, is like it's the least stats onto the board right now, right?
Well, on this particular turn, yes. But
yeah.
Don't forget, Butterz can still go for Archwitch Willow next turn, which will spit out a pretty big demon with a death rattle on it.
True. Which is good.
Ooh, Orcus as well. Which on next turn can spit out a 4 damage AoE potion.
That's a big Void Lord. That's a 5/11 Void Lord, and that's gonna be hard to get through there for VLasers. Also, the 3 smaller Void Taunts will also be 3/5. So it will basically be a bunch of Demon Sengens coming out of this Void Lord.
Yep, we've all seen the Mal'Ganis Void Lord Demon comps in Battlegrounds, and they are very efficient. And Hey, if you can do that in Wild too, why not?
Yeah, how do even VLasers even answer this? He can like if he opens up Void Lord, he just makes more damage onto the board.
Well, it would also expose the freezing trap, right? Like,
Yeah.
it would just trade a Void Walker in. So here comes Iliax, along with Rat Trap.
Yeah, it seems like it's saving the double brand combo for next turn with Coin and having double King Crush as an option with 2/2 Force. Seems like a pretty good way, but
this does mean
yeah.
though that Butterz can just trade Archwitch Willow and then confirm that it is in fact not freezing trap up there.
Which will be good to see if you are Butterz. He's in a really good position right now.
Absolutely. While Mal'Ganis also sits on the board, since your hero's immune, your life taps also don't deal damage to you.
Yeah, so it's 2 mana, draw a card, which is not bad.
which is good.
Yeah. That's like borderline playable as a card, right?
Yeah.
Or used to be at least. Like people played Flare without the effect for a long time when it got nerfed to 2 mana.
Yeah. Something else that we have to note real quick is that VLasers does play Spellbreaker in this Hunter list, so he can actually get through Void Lord. Butterz can't just hide behind Void Lord, he has to use something else as well.
Oh, he has another demon, so
yeah, which
seems like a pretty way to hide.
Oh, yeah, he's not even gonna attack. Just saying, yeah, come on then. Come on, lasers, hit me. You won't.
Yeah, your turn. Well, we will probably see it now. Is trading off some of it because this is going to spawn 4 minions onto the board here. And currently, oh, it's not doing that.
I mean, double King Crush isn't even that threatening this turn, funnily enough.
True.
It's like, those seem like weird things to say, right? Double King Crush isn't a threat, but like we've got this off in hand, which can just spit out all of these demons right back next turn. Not to mention, both of these taunts are also spitting out extra demons.
There they come. Double King Crush. Clean kill on the, or clean-ish kill on the Void Lord, but it spawns, as I said, a bunch of 3/5s. There are more difficult to remove.
I mean, the current issue for Butterz here is that he doesn't actually have a way to deal with this outside of using Kazakus.
True. That was a big board.
Or Gold 3, I guess, but you don't want to Gold 3 this board. Like, Mal'Ganis is really valuable, you don't want to get rid of him if you can avoid it. So, there we go. Butterz knows it is not Freezing Trap, and therefore he can just take whatever trades he wants. So it's both Crushes down, and I imagine it's probably going to be Bronze Bid down too, maybe?
Yeah, getting Bronze Bear down seems like a solid choice here. He's contemplating, like, if it does that trade there, not the... He just, well, he probably want to play in the soft, right? Just to get the Void Lord and he gets 3 demons back.
So you would get 1 Void Lord, 2 countered defendants, and a Dreadlord, so your board would be full.
Yeah.
Instead, it looks like we're going to opt for Kazakus, going to get a 10 mana potion, which is a little bit greedy.
We're getting 2 potions though.
Yeah, so he's probably going to pick a 5 now, okay. Did get the Fellbloom though, so it's going to be a useful AoE later on in the game. But instead went for the deal 5, gain 7 armor potion. Alright.
There you see Rat Trap coming in, 6/6 on the board. But that's a lot of the burst that VLasers could actually play here. Was done with the double King Crush turn. That just crushed itself into a bunch of taunts.
Not only that, they're known for R2, also milled 2 cards from VLasers deck, one of which was Spellbreaker.
Yeah, that's a pretty good...
So that's a lot of burst potential being cut down once Blood Reaver or N'Zoth comes down. Let alone Reno. It's just been sat in hand the entire game.
Yeah. Finally, though, VLasers get rid of that Mal'Ganis and can start to play out. But he's running out of cards. Meanwhile, Butterz on his hand has almost a full hand here with bunch of juicy stuff.
See, Lothar going to come down. That's not really going to do a whole lot of good for VLasers at this point, because Butterz is just going to clean up this board and then just dropping this off, and the game is over.
Need to do that in the correct order.
Yeah, you obviously take the trades first, but yeah, like, how does VLasers deal with this off with Zephyr's and Spellbreaker gone? This is not going to happen.
Yeah, look at that. 2 Carter Defenders, a White Collar. There's a huge demon, which is probably one of the biggest demon I've seen in a while in Enhanced Dreadlord. And then, of course, a White Daddy sitting still. VLasers is just trying to do something and playing mini Lothar now, but it's not going to do much versus these two.
Oh, and there's Zephyr's, which, let's see, there's 9, 14, 19 on board. That's just going to get Bloodlust and the game is over. Or he can just get Flare and the game is over. One or the other. Either way, the game is over.
The game is over indeed.
She didn't even offer Flare. But yeah, Bloodlust will still be lethal, so it doesn't matter.
Well, there is a pressure plate up.
See, it's Freezing Trap, Wandering Monster, and
Explosive Trap.
So yeah, there's not pressure plate up. So yeah. See ya.
Oh!
Maybe not actually. Wicker Flame is actually really clutch here to keep VLasers alive, but I mean, I don't really see how he wins from here, even with Wicker Flame.
No, it's not that winning. It's just not dying this
I mean, it keeps him alive. Of that we can be certain. But he doesn't win from here, which is the important thing. Oh, and there's cooldown. Just in case, you know. Just in case Nazoth wasn't enough, here's cooldown as well.
Yeah, and VLasers gets a pressure plate off the top. Not exactly what he was looking for right there. I don't even know what he could get out. Well, Zephyr's, I guess. Wouldn't even remove everything.
Well played.
Yeah, VLasers looks like he's just going to pack it up. And Butterz is turn 1-0.
So 1-0 to Butterz here after showing the power of this Highlander Warlock being like, even though it just like, what was it? 3 like big demons and then a White Collar, it's still more than enough for Willow to just swing games.
Yeah, absolutely. And if all the big demons were enough, you could also just have Leroy Face's Power of Overwhelming as a potential endgame finisher there. But still got 2 more wins to go for Butterz here. Still got the Raza Priest and the Bomb Warrior. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, which of those decks are you most interested in, though? I'm really interested in seeing this Priest being played, the Raza Priest.
I was most interested in the Warlock, and it's just one in like 5 minutes.
But from now on out, it's like this Raza Priest, it has like some interesting tech choices as well. So for people not familiar with Raza Priest from before, it has been nerfed. What it was before? No, it has been buffed again. Hasn't it? It got nerfed and got buffed.
I was going to say, Raza used to cost 1 with the hero power, but now it's free again.
Yeah, it used to be free, then it was 1, and now it's free again. It's a lovely thing. But the whole idea is that because of Shadow Reaper Anduin, makes you refresh your hero power every time you play a card. And since the hero power costs 0, you can continue. And we will see it in all its glory.
There's Raza and Lordkeeper Polkill as well.
Meaning you can Shadow Reaper Anduin on turn 8.
Yeah, or turn 7 with the coin.
Yeah,
we're against arguably one of Raza Priest's worst matchups in Odd Warrior. Because as it turns out, sure, you can deal 2 damage per hero power, but that Odd Warrior is going to be getting 4 armor every turn. And 4 armor stacks up very quickly.
That is true. Stacks up a lot of armor here. And you can't really go long with this deck either, because, well, not versus Odd Warrior with Archivist Elysiana, Dr. Movement Genius, and all that shenanigans that entails.
Well,
But having
I mean, Man on the Zoo, like getting either Archivist Luciana or Dr. Beer Mad Genius could potentially give Butterz the endgame reach she needs, but it's not that likely to happen.
what is fun here though is that Butterz for his ex, since he will be sure to be able to have Rasa out at turn 8. Not like Rasa and Andun out to turn 8. He's running like the Spawn of Shadows build, meaning he can burst a surprising amount of damage in one turn if he need be.
Absolutely, but yeah, here we go. To see a warrior just going to tank up pretty much every turn, and the list VLasers is using sort of contributes to that defensive playstyle. He's running Bulwark of Azeroth, Cold Light Oracles, and just every conceivable warrior AoE you can think of. Bladestorm.
There's Archivist Elysiana though.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Butterz.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as I was saying, like we've got all the warrior AoEs here. We've got Plague of Wrath, Brawl, Reckless Flurry, Lord Barov, and Bladestorm.
Deciding to not go with hero power to play down a 2-3 instead. Hoping for shoot lackey or rush lackey here because you don't want to have his armor peeled off.
Indeed. I imagine we're probably going to see Lordkeeper Polka at this turn, just to guarantee that you've got Anduin nice and early.
Yeah, you will draw Anduin, Psychic Scream, Reno Jackson. Then
And
the
then
Astral Drake.
Azure Drake, yeah, and then Spawn of Shadows, Master Spell of Shadow Druid.
Seems like a pretty good way of going about it. So we will see Rasa getting played next turn, and then just waiting room for just hoarding up cards until Shadow Reaper Anduin, so you can actually start generating everything you need and getting as many hero powers in as possible.
Yeah, something that does have to be noted though is since VLasers went for Colors last turn, he missed out on getting 4 armor.
Yeah.
And every turn that you're not getting 4 armor is essentially dealing 4 damage to yourself against Raza Priest. So you gotta be a bit careful to like strike the balance between clearing the board and getting the armor you need to survive the late game burst damage.
So the thing here with Shadow Reaper Anduin, it's like a like you want to play Polkel because you want to fish out Shadow Reaper Anduin. But also like a 2-edged sword, right? Because that means you can't get all the cheap stuff like Raised Dead, Cleric Scales, Draconic Studies, Northshire Cleric, Potion Matter, all that super cheap. Like even Renew, which is like super cheap, is really good to get when you have Shadow Reaper Anduin, because that means you can chain together so many more spells with that.
Speaking of things you're missing out on, Cold Light Oracle means that Azure Drake's getting overdrawn here.
Not the worst, but it hurts.
Yeah, without Azure Drake, that means this Draconid Operative is going to be dead in hand at least until Dustbreaker is drawn, which is a draw that's going to be about, what, like 2 turns down the line?
Something like that.
And you want to get these high-pressure minions out as early as possible to maximize the amount of damage you're dealing as the Raza Priest here.
So the next draw is either Spawn of Shadows or Mass Dispel. So going Novice into that.
Dustbreaker.
Or Dustbreaker, yeah. Do you have a draw for that?
I think
you need to play a card.
You may honestly just go for Draconid Operative and then just go face.
Oh yeah, just have a 5/6, big fat 5/6.
Yeah. I mean, like if you're VLasers, right, you never really want to go for Reckless Flurry because that destroys all of your armor.
Yeah.
But you'd rather save that as like the very, very last like real AoE that you want to do. And if you're playing Operative here, you're sort of forcing VLasers' hand a little bit. Where it's like, okay, you can clear my board, but it's going to cost you 9 health. And 9 health is a lot in this matchup.
Yep. He's playing quite well here, using his time very well to be sure that no mistakes goes through.
Ooh, that's the second Cold Light Oracle though. That means that Butterz is about to overdraw a few more cards here. Let's see what he's burning away. He didn't burn the Spawn of Shadows, fortunately. So that does mean he's going to have that extra burst damage potential at the end of the game. But still, 2 more cards being burned away limits the amount of burst
Master's
damage the
Stone.
patron deal.
This is... Are you ever Psychic Screaming this?
Psychic Scream would shuffle 7 cards back into VLasers' deck. Among those, all of them are actually pretty decent draws for VLasers, to be honest. Like, the worst draw would be Eternium Rover.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, what else are you doing here? If you coin out Shadow Reaper and then you kill both of your biggest threat. They are both going face. Every time.
Oh yeah, the minions are going face. That was never in doubt. The question is, like, what else are you going to do this turn? So it looks like we're going to see a hero power. Ooh, actually, are still going to go for Shadow Reaper just to try to get as much damage in as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
The light has betrayed me.
Starting the hero power train right now and killing his own minion. Both of his own minions there. After they're done. Well, Rasa did 10 and the Draconid did 5. So that's 15 damage done.
I mean, every point of damage the minions deal is damage you don't need to get back later on, right? Like, VLasers has already used 1 shield block. So the amount of armor he can actually gain per turn is limited at this point, right? Like, he's used 1 shield block, 1 sword and board. So he only has, like, both of the rovers, 1 quartermaster, and 1 shield block to give him extra armor.
Yeah, Dr. Boom as well for 7. But
Yeah,
Dr. Boom...
You really don't want to play Dr. Boom in this matchup because Dr. Boom shifts your hero power away from gaining 4 armor. Yeah, sure, exactly. Sometimes he'll give you 7 armor, but that's not guaranteed. You'd rather have the guaranteed 4 armor to sort of ride out the storm.
So if this wasn't Odd Warrior, basically just normal warrior, Dr. Boom is on average about the same armor because you get the 7 armor about the same speed if you press it every turn, right? But you get it so much more spread out, so it's always better to have it.
Yeah. So I imagine now we're probably going to see Psychic Scream come down here just to clear the board. Like, you don't really want to use Kazakus. You want to use Kazakus for a 1-mana potion because then it will synergize better with the Spawn of Shadows, right?
Yeah.
Shadowy thoughts.
So you hero power first, always, before you play any other cards.
And the hero power is, of course, always going face because you're against Odd Warrior.
Oh. Okay.
Curious.
So you use Novel Engineer instead.
Breath of the Infinite picked up. Oh no! Yes! Don't forget to hero power. There we go. Alright.
Good boy.
I was about to say, it's going to be running in the back of Butter's mind every turn. It's like, okay, is the hero power active? Okay, use it. And then so on and so forth.
Like, do you even care here? Ooh.
I'm not it's awkward, right? That you don't really want to burn your Void Form damage on minions. You'd rather send it all to face, though. At the same time, Eternium Rover kind of puts a spanner in the works there a little bit.
Yeah. There is no Ciliax, though, in VLasers build. So you're not that afraid of, Ciliax onto this?
Well,
but you don't know that.
You can discover it from Omega Assembly. But yeah, Butterz doesn't know that. You're absolutely right about that.
So you had to take let's say a calculated risk here.
Ooh, interesting. Actually, going to trade the Eternium Rover. Not sure if I like that, but
well, it's 2 health now.
I mean, it's 2 health now, but if you get any sort of buff effect on it later, it can be way more than that. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Omega Assembly has a high chance of actually drawing you some sort of magnetic.
Yeah.
There is a lot of magnetic in Wild. Can be used.
So it's going to pass the turn back. Okay.
Okay, so you can use Seance. You're probably using Seance on Zephyrs, right? No. You're never hitting the 6
or on Kazakus, but yeah, you're never hero powering minions.
This is a Shadow Death target. Perfect.
Yummy. I guess it's a death target, sure. But you never ping minions. Pinging minions is actively a mistake. Every point of damage matters for the priest in this matchup. I cannot stress that enough.
Here comes Kazakus. 1-mana potion.
He might go for... Yeah, he's going for a 1. Good man.
Deal 3
I imagine he
damage.
probably got the... Yeah, deal
Shadow
3
Oil?
damage, deal 2 to all minions. That's the one I would pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Gonna death. The 6-4, hero power again. I wouldn't use the potion this turn though, because I want to save it for the spawn of shadows later on down the line.
Yeah. There was an option of taking Sions on Kazakus here as well, instead of using it on Zephyrs or Spawn.
Maybe Butterz is wanting to hold it for Reno, possibly, because he is actually getting kind of low here.
That is the worst.
Dynamatic is going to clear everything aside from the Robo.
Oh, that's Shadow Vision though. Shadow Vision is so good with Shadow Reaper and in. It will most likely fetch him like a... Well, it's only 2 mana or less spells here. It's Penance, Spirit Lash,
Renew, Potion of Madness, Draconic Studies, and Raise Dead. If it gets Raise Dead, that's actually nuts.
So he needs to start calculating how much damage he has available now. Because the Spawn of Shadows quickly accelerates the whole game plan here.
It does have to be said as well that Spawn of Shadows also damages you.
Yeah, so you need to be at a healthy life total.
So you have to be a healthy life total. Yeah, exactly. So I think.
But of course, your opponent takes 2 more damage per blast than you do.
Yeah, but at the moment, VLasers is at a much higher health total than Butterz is.
True.
I think I would like to use Psychic Scream here.
Now, this isn't that bad, Psychic Scream, yeah. And you can also combine it with like a Shadow Madness.
Shadow Visions, you mean?
Yeah, Shadow Visions, I mean.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to use any of my cheap spells here. I want to save those as much as possible. So here we go. Psychic Scream. Nice, debating it. Gonna go for Shadow Visions. Okay, there we go.
It's
Yeah,
running out of time.
Scream.
You need to take into consideration as well, because the hero power changing back and forth takes some animation time here.
Oh, Siege is gonna pass.
Basically did nothing that turn besides removing the board because, well, he removed 4 armor. 4 armor is not enough.
Oh, looks like we may be seeing Baku the Moon Eater come down this turn, but Baku the Moon Eater is 9 mana. And once again, if you play that, that means you're not armoring up. And if you're not armoring up, you're actively dealing 4 damage to yourself, which is not what you want to be doing.
Ethereal Lackey, okay. Looking for armor cards here.
No, ooh, Doctor Boom actually gives armor. A very small amount, but it does give armor.
If you had it for a couple of turns, it's really good. But right now, for 4 mana, like, you need to hold it so long for it to be worth it.
I mean, it's the best option, right? These other options
Oh yeah,
suck.
of course. Like, Coerce? No.
Wait, if I picked Information? Okay, ooh, Weapons Project, though.
An Identified Shield isn't bad, though.
I mean, Unidentified Shield is more armor because Weapons Project would just have you take 6 damage in the long run via the weapon.
Still decides to go for it, though. We'll start pushing a little bit more then. Is he running any form of weapon removal? No, he is not.
I mean, the only weapon removal you could play is Gluttonous Ooze of Harrison Jones.
Yep. Here's a Loot Hoarder.
Yeah, I'm
now in the situation if you want to keep this Bran alive.
I mean, how many battle cries really matter though? As Old Warrior, like you've already
you have the potion and penance needs a target anyways, so why not? It's true.
Yeah. I mean, my point as well is like, how many battle cries do you really care about at this point as the Old Warrior? You've already seen both Cold Oracles and 1 Quartermaster.
True. Oh, here comes the
one now. Oh, okay. He's gonna say on set. All right, fair enough.
He's to try to push extra damage here.
Yeah, he's not in any danger of dying per se, especially if the penance.
Yeah, and he has Reno, so he's actually using this in two like bulks. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, deciding to kill the Bran here. Are you going to play the Loot Hoarder as well?
No, looks like he's going to opt for... Oh no, he's just going to pass again. Okay.
I feel this is bad. Like, you want to utilize all your mana if you can, right?
Yeah, I agree. I just think that Butterz was like scared he might die.
Oh,
I don't know
true.
how, but he might be scared. Like, you never know, right? Like, VLasers in close deck list could just randomly run Leroy, and then you just lose.
Yeah.
And Butterz, I guess, feels like he's in such a good position that he doesn't have to take that risk.
VLasers is taking the Dr. Boom route here. Gets the
And
boom.
that's really unfortunate for VLasers. The
Yeah,
one
that
hero
also
power
means that
he
he
needs
won't get it next turn.
Yeah, the one hero power he needs is that blast shield. And you won't be rolling the same hero power every turn. It's going to be random each turn, but it will be a different hero power next turn. And every hero power that is not deal 7 is actively taking 4 damage every turn.
Yep.
Now.
This is going to be Reno, I presume?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this will be Reno here. It's going to heal Butterz right back up to 30. And then we'll probably see these two drops come down here.
I like the loot hoard here at least, at minimum, because you don't have that much like mana with the spawn with this
Spawn of Shadows, yeah.
Yeah, Spawn of Shadows.
You're also not in danger of overdrawing at this point, right? Like both Cold Light Oracles are gone. So yeah, there's 7 cards left in Butter's deck. He's not worried about going to Fatigue quite yet.
Yeah,
I think at this point Butterz is just trying to hold Shadow Visions to get Raised Dead specifically. Though I think he already guarantees it at this point.
He has 4 spells left.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't guarantee it quite yet. He's got Renew,
but he has either Renew or Raised Dead, which both are really good though.
Yeah, but you want Raised Dead because it's 2 cards rather than 1, so that's 2 extra damage. Raised Dead also is a 0 mana proc for Spawn of Shadows.
True.
So yeah, you'd rather.
Will be coming down. What? Any good here? Oh, just a Cyclotron.
Piloted Reaper and Goblin Bomb. Yeah.
Not good enough, bro. Cleric of Scales. Not drawing a card, but it is a 1 mana dude. So.
Oh, I think VLasers is dead at this point. Yeah, especially if like Zephyr's and the Kazakus potion, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of damage available here.
See, Renew. I'm not actually sure like if Zephyr's would offer Moonfire, but yeah, it doesn't matter. VLasers is very, very dead.
Oh, but Raised Dead as well. Yeah, and this just worked out perfectly well for Butterz, even though VLasers dead. He had a few turns where he didn't armor up here, but he didn't actually put out any pressure either, which is the other way you can win, right?
Well, looking at the end of this game, right? Butterz still had like 11 extra damage at the end there with the Kazakus potion and the Raised Dead. It's like 3 from the potion and then 4 for each card. So even with those armor ups, I actually don't think it would have mattered. I think he just had like way too much damage at the end of that game.
I think he played really well though, because usually when you see Seons, you're just thinking, well, you do it on like Reno, or you do it on stuff like Kazakus, or maybe even Zephyrs, right? But he did it on the Spawn of Shadows, which means that he could go full Spawn of Shadows turn, almost killing himself, Reno back up, and then go again. Which is why he could take the second turn there with Spawn of Shadows and dealing 1 million damage. I didn't have the calculator here, but he did a lot of damage that match.
Absolutely. I would also point out as well that Raza and Draconid Operative also dealt 15 damage as well.
That's true.
Now, when your minions are dealing 15 damage before even Anduin is down, you know you're in a really good spot to win against Off Warrior.
True.
But yeah, still got 1 more deck to win with before the clean sweep is done, and it will be that Bomb Warrior with Augmented Relic, Iron Juggernaut, the Clockwork Goblin, just OG Bomb Warrior, pretty much.
Yeah, it looks like a deck I played when we were trying to qualify for WCG. I just had the Bomb Warrior with all the bombs in it. It was a standard though, but that was a fun way to beat Sorkar, for instance, when they draw 5 bombs in a row. Anywho,
Anywho, I see 1 Doctor Boom now. as we all know, Warrior Mirrors historically have been very much defined by who gets Dr. Boom first, because whoever gets Dr. Boom first gets all them X Rush for the rest of the game and gets that upgrade hero power earlier than the opponent. And of course, if the Bomb Warrior gets it online before the control build does, that means the Bomb build is going to be able to continue applying all the pressure in the world while VLasers is just desperately trying to find his own like infinite value engine.
Yep. And this is also the new or the old and improved Dr. Boom, right? He got nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, and now he's back to 7 mana.
He got nerfed once to 9 mana,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's a hefty nerf, but he still got played, and then now he's back in wild, strong as ever, with his other 7 people, which is his rightful place.
Anyway, it looks like it's gonna be a bit of an uphill battle here for VLasers. Like he's got the rover, but hasn't got much else to really work with at the moment.
Yeah, Butterz on the other hand, sitting with a snip snap.
Yeah, there's the Juggernaut. I think what Butterz is probably going to end up doing this game is trying to hold off on shuffling bombs until he can get like that big turn. Like you have a wrench on board, you play Alec, and then you go like Clockwork Goblin and then Iron Juggernaut. You shuffle in like 6 or 7 bombs in one turn.
Seems good to me. Okay.
Speaking of things being shuffled in, by the way, Karga Blade Fist is in hand as well, and that can shuffle in Karga Prime.
It's not the worst thing to shuffle in, to say it like that.
Yeah, it's a 10/10 with Rush that gives you 10 armor. It's pretty good.
It's good at stalling, good at pressure. It's a good boy. Do you know if Iron Juggernaut actually counts as... No, because it's mine, not the bomb,
I was
right?
going to say, yeah, it's a burrowing mine, not a bomb.
Yeah, so it doesn't count for Blastmaster Boom.
Yeah, but there are plenty of ways for Butterz to shuffle bombs into VLasers' deck. So
I miss seeing Goblins and together with the Wrench Calibers. Nowadays, it's basically only Wrench Calibers and upgrades and stuff.
Well, yeah, but in Wild, you get access to Brand Bronzebeard as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not in this list specifically, but you have like much more incentive to play Clockwork Goblin.
There's the Corsair cache.
Along with Horde Pillager as well. So there's going to be a lot of bombs being shuffled into VLasers' deck shortly.
Yeah, so what you want is to equip Wrench Caliber, hit, and then you do Augmented Eleg next turn and hit with Wrench Caliber, and then you have shuffled 3 bombs, and hopefully you have like a Clockwork Goblin or something to follow up with the Augmented Eleg.
Yeah, something I will quickly point out as well is that VLasers is not running weapon removal in his Old Warrior deck. So every single bomb that is being shuffled into VLasers' deck is going to get drawn eventually.
Well, unless he Elysianas, I guess.
Unless he Elysianas, but you can only do that once. And obviously Butterz is going to spread out his bomb generation. He's not going to throw...
I love this as well. The second Corsair cache, he has 6 charges now of Wrench Caliber. That's 30 damage, Paradox. 30 damage just from the Wrench Calibers. And then you can add on Augmented LX and Clockwork Goblins and all that.
And that's ignoring the most important part of this game so far, Dilda. VLasers has not drawn Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and Butterz has. Which means that not only is Butterz sending 30 damage into VLasers' face, he's also getting infinite value as well, while his opponent is not.
Instant play on turn 7, like we've seen so many times before. Suiting up, Dr. Boom. It's time to go to a party.
There we go.
Oh,
and the bomb being drawn right off the bat.
Oh, Dr. Boom.
The devil, and he shall appear. But again, like it's sort of a weird compromise, right? Like Dr. Boom is what you want against the mirror match, but at the same time, it also removes your armor hero power. So now every bomb being shuffled in really matters.
Yep. We will see Horde Pillager getting played here. Or do we say just the second bench caliber? Seems like the second bench caliber. It
I
puts
think the
less
reason
pressure.
Butterz went for the second wrench there is because he saw that Dr. Boom
Microbot.
was getting the 1/1 microbots, which would then just rush into the 4-2 and clear it right away.
Yeah. So now it's 2 more bombs in the deck for VLasers. Next turn, he can shuffle in 2 more bombs with the Elec and 2 mines as well at the same time if he wants to.
Yep, 2
Yikes.
burrowing mines. At the same time, though, VLasers is starting to get his hand pretty full. So Butterz is going to want to start generating these threats and forcing VLasers to start playing more cards. Speaking of cards being played, there's Baku the Moon Eater, which is very good for Butterz since he can just shield slam it for mana.
Yeah.
Or you can just
Ooh.
use Cargo Prime, that works too. Okay.
Thing is, if he shield slams here, he can't do like the Augmented Elec Iron Juggernaut play.
He doesn't need to do it this turn, does he?
Yeah. Just punch. Have these 1/1s. The 1/1s has actually done a little bit of damage as well, which is relevant. Like, every damage matters.
Yeah, and there's Blast Shield, which is absolutely the worst hero power for Butterz here, because he knows that the bombs are going to be what wins this game, not just armoring up and fatigue.
Yeah, he wants Delivery Drone and Sap, right? That's
Yeah.
like the 2 good things.
Or
maybe
micro,
even
or
Microbots.
microbots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that gives damage, right? Or threats.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, funnily enough, VLasers' hand is actually really bad at dealing with these 1/1s without like overkilling them, right?
With Blade Storm, for instance, yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And like, look at this! VLasers has no armor, so both of these shield slams do nothing. Brawl does nothing because there's no board. Coerce
Yeah.
does
Are you
nothing
just
'cause there's
doing
no
you're
board
doing the
as well.
Elec now, right?
Yeah, I think now you commit the Elec plus the Iron Juggernaut.
Yeah, you don't. This is one of the turns
Like,
which
you
the
don't
hero
need
power is
armor.
bad. Yeah, this is a bad hero power, and you shuffle in 30 damage worth of stuff into your opponent's deck in 1 turn.
Not only that, VLasers is also like he's nowhere near a full hand yet, and you're putting on more pressure, which is forcing VLasers to empty his hand even more. And the
Yep.
emptier VLasers' hand gets, the less able he is to resist drawing bombs.
Good time for a master plan.
Are you ever? And you aren't even afraid if he Elysianas. This is like, okay, if you Elysiana this, that means my Alex sticks. I can still shovel in more bombs next turn.
Well,
So I don't
Elec
care.
and the Juggernaut sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Double
go.
mine.
2 burrowing mines and 2 bombs being shuffled in.
Yummy, yummy. That's a total of 30 damage shuffled in 1 turn. There's still 1 bomb left, so that's 35 damage available, laying and waiting for VLaser in his deck.
Oh, there's
Speaking
a
of
bomb.
first- 5 damage. That's
and
a
a
spurring
burrowing
one.
mine.
Yikes! And on the bomb.
But he's
Whoa,
not
Butterz
dead.
didn't shuffle.
Yeah, he's
Butterz
not-
just. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not dead, but there's no way for VLasers to get armor at this point. So even if he clears this board, he's still dead due to the Wrench Caliber. And Butterz getting a very decisive 3-0 sweep here, demolishing this Old Warrior.
Okay then.
Yeah, you are good. Let's see these Archivist Elysiana just for fun.
Just for flavor, yeah. I
Living
guess it'd be a
Monument.
Living Monument.
It's big taunt.
Okay. Dollmaster
Dollmaster.
Dorian.
Oof.
Harrison Jones a bit late, buddy. Octosari. And then good old Sogoth the Sliverer.
Yeah, that's not the winning hand right there. This
And
shield
then, yeah, just
slam.
gonna throw out a Shield Slam and then just get the concede. And we have our final semi-finalist. Our final
Yeah.
quarter-finalist, I mean.
Semi-finalist. That's
Semi-finalist,
Butterz there getting to the semi-finals here and showing like 3-0. Pretty well done here. He will be facing off with Battle Tagger in the top end of the bracket. Meanwhile, on the bottom end, we have Rushino versus Maso, which will be the next fight match we will be having here on stream.
Mhm.
So
All
we
right.
will just be back with after a short break. and then we will be watching at that second or the first semifinals, in the lower end of the bracket. So don't go anywhere, guys.
See you in a bit, guys.